Yo guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about some of my most famous camera tricks. Coming from more of a traditional filmmaker background, a lot of the things I learned while on set, I actually got to use in some of these camera tricks, and because of that, that's probably why I think it performed really well on socials. So for this project, I asked my friend Nikki to come and help me out, be the subject of the video. You've probably seen her in a lot of my other camera trick videos, and because of that, I think she was perfect. Koki was also there, and he helped me film the behind the scenes, so thank you for that. So the first trick I wanted to talk about was putting your iPhone on a gimbal and then putting it on a tripod or a monopod and getting a really high perspective. I've used this technique on a lot of past projects, and I've also used it in one of my last YouTube videos back in Kyoto a couple years ago. And Jerome, one of my good friends, he's actually really known for this technique, and a lot of people call him the pole sensei. He's always running in Tokyo, New York, all over the world, just with a tripod and then like a gimbal on top, and then making his content that way. So in this example, we're in the middle of Shibuya, and I asked Nikki to pick a monopod or a tripod, and luckily she picked the monopod, which was a little bit lighter. And now here are a few shots that we got with it. I'm also going to show you a comparison of just normal eye level shots, and then you guys can pick which one you prefer the most. So obviously you don't want to like have all your shots like this, but just a little bit really goes a long way. So the second camera trick I wanted to share with you guys is the exposure compensation slider on the iPhone. And to do this trick, what you do is that you click on the compensation dial, and I usually bring mine down to about -1.3. All this number really means is that the phone will bring its exposure to -1.3 stops under what it thinks proper exposure should be. By slightly underexposing the image, you can actually achieve a more cinematic look. I usually just leave it at -1.3, and it really makes all my footage look really great. So for number 3, let's talk about the new action mode on the iPhone 14. This mode actually allows you to run and capture footage without a stabilizer now. This camera trick has almost 3 million views on Instagram, and I filmed it while I was skiing, but because there's no snow anymore, we have to go to the outskirts of Shibuya, which is also cool. All you have to do on your iPhone 14 is click on the running guide in the camera app, and the action mode will turn on automatically. Here are some of the shots I got of Koki skateboarding. I also screen recorded when I was shooting these scenes to illustrate what it looks like without any stabilization. Quite shaky, right? So maybe not the fairest of tests, because when you're screen recording, the default stabilization also doesn't kick in, but it's a good representation of how far iPhones have come. The video also does crop in a little bit in action mode, so that's something to be mindful of. So last but not least, but this is a camera trick that you can do on your next travel. You basically have the subject walk in many different locations, and then in post and editing, you cut it together to make it seamless. So this trick has almost 7 million views on Instagram, so let's talk about it a little bit. I usually like to mark down 5 different locations that I want to film this at, and then on the iPhone, when you have the grid, you look at the markers and you place the subject at the exact same spot every single time. So I like to pretend there's an imaginary box around the subject, and I always place the subject within these lines every single location I go to. You can also do this technique for portrait shots, which is really interesting. So the way I do it is that I ask the subject to look straight into the camera, and then I have the top grid line, place it right along the eyes, and then I just remember where the bottom of the frame will be. And then you do the same shot in a lot of different locations. I've done this in a lot of commercial projects, music videos. It's like, if you really cut it up really fast, it's a fun way to really grab the audience's attention. So when this video originally went viral, I got a lot of tags from followers who wanted to show me their version of it, and some of them weren't so seamless and clean, and I think the reason being was that they really didn't focus on keeping the subject in the imaginary box. One secret is that the way I did it in my video, I made the cuts a lot more seamless by editing with the footsteps. Let's say like the first shot would have her with the right step and then with the right foot walking, and then when the right foot touches the ground, then I would cut, and the next shot and then the second shot would actually have the right foot cut and touching the ground, and then like walking away, and then I would keep doing that. That way it makes the video a lot more seamless. There you have it. These are some of my most famous camera tricks, and I hope you found this video really helpful. I want to do more of these because I think it's quite fun, and because of that, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more filmmaking camera tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.